Hello, everyone, and welcome to one whole year of science adventure. My name is the Rat, Chaos, or the Chaos Rat or Moose, and welcome back to another Rat News segment, or what I should call the Rat News Q&A. Today we got a bunch of questions that you guys have been asked in on the previous video that I have posted on YouTube. We got some pretty interesting questions, and I'm gonna be honest. Um, as of right now, I know what the questions are, but I don't know what my answers are to them yet because I literally haven't thought of any answers yet. Besides one, but that one's an obvious. Anyway, but before we begin with the Q&A, I would like to say thank you for this past year. I'm it's it's been amazing. Like I started out here as anybody else here in the Discord, found my niche with science adventure, and just been blasting in that chat, this chat for over a year, plus general chat for over a year, which is quite an undertaking if you ask me, because it means I had to get up, or rather, once I get home from work, I have to post on the regular, which sometimes is easier said than done. I almost slipped up a couple times, but thanks to you guys. You guys helped me remind myself to stay the course. We had amazing events during those past 365 days, from just memes galore to a face reveal to just memeing around, and even just a bunch of stupid stuff with each benchmark. And speaking of benchmarks, um, I have no idea what I'll be doing for day 400, but one of those questions will be answered today. Anyways, let's move on to the Q&A segment, the thing you have all been waiting for. First question. I'm doing fine. Just tired, busy with work and school, or rather work and college. You know how it is. On top of having a hard time paying attention to doing things. Otherwise fine, but stressed. But who ain't fine but stressed, right? We all have our own paths, and yeah, mine happens to be a fine but stressful one sometimes. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Oh, I I see. Well, good for you.
All
Let's.
right, it's me, Moose, and I'm about to do you a solid here. My my toothpaste doesn't have salt
No.
in it. What toothpaste
Why?
does?
Why? Why? No. I ain't. Please, no. I don't want to look at myself. Please, no. Please. Please stop. Please. Please stop. Please.
So that you guys believe me, this is about to taste nasty.
It did. To a point where I had to do
I'll
this.
say this: it's highly disgusting. I would never recommend to do this ever again. Okay, okay.
Okay, about this clip. It took me a couple tries to get it right because I know some people have a thing that they can't stand vomit. Yeah, I underestimated the power of salt in toothpaste. And I'm gonna say it. It was miserable. I can still taste it after a week of doing this because now whenever I brush my teeth, I think of salt in my toothpaste. I I'm just I'm stuck. I'm stuck with that in my mind for the rest of the days I'm here. Oh, what did you do during your first Q&A? A moose, rat, um, salt and toothpaste. I swear. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is what are your expectations for Anonymous Code? Will you be buying Chaos Head slash Chaos Shadow double pack for the Nintendo Switch, or will I be waiting for a Steam port? Also, what are your plans for day 400? Well, Anonymous Code, I don't have any expectations because I'm gonna be honest, I've been oblivious to it because I want to be as vague as possible when it comes to my understanding of it because I want to go in completely blind. Steins Gate, Chaos Shroud, all that is once you need to be blind when jumping into those things. And Steingate, well, I wasn't blind really. Chaos Shroud, yeah, I was completely blind. And when it comes to the double pack thing, the double pack, I'll be waiting for a Noah Steam port. If it actually turns out to be a legit thing, I'll go with Steam because here's the thing. My family may have a Switch, but it doesn't mean I'll have access to that Switch forever. And well, my PC slash my Steam account, I probably will always have because well, it's my Steam account. All my games can be transferred this, that, and the other. For crying out loud, I play Chaos Child both on my laptop and my computer. If I had to go roundabout way just to view it on the Switch, it'll cause nothing but issues. Because now, oh, do I want to read a visual novel with a LCD screen, or do I want to read it with my laptop where I can sit it down anywhere and enjoy? Or set it up in, or do I want to set it up in the Switch dock and set it right by my computer? It just it causes more issues than not. So odds are I'll go with the Steam port. And with a Steam port, there's also a potential of community patches, which is a good thing for science adventure. And what are my days plans for day 400? Well, I don't. But here's the thing: because 400 is about 40 no wait not 45 but like 35 days away. It, I'll let you guys the community decide, but it has to be something not big on big when it comes to like technicality or anything. Like if you just want to hang out and like plan a community stream again for day 400, I'm more than down for that, but it might not be on 400 due to the fact of conflicting schedules, but it'll be on the weekend of, you know? Basically, you guys will come up with it, and yeah, it's gonna be quite an adventure to see what you guys come up with. Anyway, to the next one, we are going with best girl from each entry. And another best girl. But we'll go back to Zalo's questions in a moment. But best girl from each entry. Okay. Well, I'll just say this. When it comes to selection of what best is, well, there's a fine wine criteria of sorts, you know? And I'm just going to be straight up honest. I don't remember anything about Chaos Head at all. I I just my brain just it blanked out, man. Yeah, it was a good meme time with my friend that I did it with, but I don't remember squat about it because I man, it just puts me on the spot on that, you know? It's like watching a movie, but then you forgot everything that happened in the movie, but instead it's a game. And that's another reason why I want um the Steam port because that means I can have access to it and review it whenever I need to slash play it again, but this time without someone who is constantly interjecting of what each line says, so that I can actually get a better understanding and more meaning from it. But when it comes to best girl for each entry, well, I'm sorry, Kurisu, if you're from the anime adaptation, you're not there. And a lot of people will associate Kirisu with the anime adaptation. Otherwise, she'll be like a good right here, but anime, sorry, you're not there. But best from the game is definitely from the Science Adventure series for Steins Gate would definitely be Ferris Nyanya. Why? It's Ferris. Who does not like Ferris? Unless you hate hearing the nya sound all the time. which in that case I understand. But out of all the characters, to me, best for at least that. Because yeah, I accept Mayuri, I accept a lot of these people. For crying out loud, Okabe would be on there, but he's a dude. But when it comes to that, all that. Anyway, when it comes to Best Girl in Robotics Notes, I'm still playing through it because and like I can't have a decision just yet on it. But all I can say so far, who's winning the race is her, Ayako, or however you pronounce her. I can't like this is the problem with me and names unless you have a big impact on me right out the gate. I just can't remember things for the life of me. But anyway, yeah. Then we have the OK tier. You honestly didn't think I'll put her up there, right? There's no reason why I would not put her up there. But here's the thing. She is the best character overall. But best girl? Best girl? Nah, there's no competition. Best of the best. Right there. No. Why? Free Chaos Child to find out. Why is Nono in the OK tier and not best tier? Re Chaos Child. I am not gonna lie. When I say the characters require a lot of thinking, every character on in Chaos Child requires thinking, and that's why I love the characters in Chaos Child. Same thing with Steins Gate, and slowly I'm understanding what robotics notes is because I'm still afraid of the robot genre or the mecha genre, and it's why I'm taking so long to read it. Combined with a busy schedule, it's just you know. And am I forgetting any mainline games besides Chaos? No. No, I think I'm doing okay, I guess, on that front. Haven't played any of those. I think that is the list. Any side note characters? There is Zero and well, I'm gonna be honest. Everybody in Zero is like on an equal playing field to me. But when it comes to Steins Gate regular, Ferris beats it all. Beats all the competition. Anyway, I think that does it for the best of the best. You know? Anyway, best girl from each entry is now complete. But now let's move on to the second part of your question. What is your second favorite science adventure? Well, that's going to be Steins Gate. Because that's the other novels I've read. I'm reading through Robotics Notes now. It's kind of hard to have a second place if your third contender in the top three you're still playing through. It's difficult, but let's have fun with it. Next one would be you can't be serious. Really? Jelly Man? I mean, please. I just I literally just put salt on my toothpaste. No. God, no. Money? Like, isn't that just isn't it a crime to mess with a human body? You're asking me how much money would I take to do that? No. It doesn't matter how much money you're paying me. Even if even if I knew that I have no connection to such an individual or anything, like that's just wrong. Why? Don't we all have the humanity to understand each other that we should not mess with the dead and shall not desecrate the bodies? I mean, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. And I'm not allowed to record that. I'm not allowed to be caught. If you make me get caught, I'll sue you. That's a joke. Because if we ever see a jelly man in real life, my god, we would all be miserable. Anyway, what are your favorite villains? Oh, and what makes villains good? Well, that's kind of hard to answer. It actually really is difficult for me to answer because all my favorite villains, if I explain to you why I like them, then like what makes what do you like my favorite villains? You're talking to a guy who plays Side V, and the villains are completely different level to compare to regular gaming. I mean, there's no there. I would just say this: there is no character that's a Bowser because every character plays a role on the stage, from a pawn to a bishop to that guy in the random corner staring at you, waiting for you to mess up. But when it comes to villains, and honestly, I think antagonists are better than villains. And why I'm more of a antagonist person who prefers antagonist versus villain, because a villain is different from an antagonist. You can have an antagonist and there still be a main villain, you know? For example, the main over like I was playing D&D with friends. And yes, I'm one of those D&D nerds, but um my my dungeon master made a campaign and well, there was a good antagonist and the villain was actually pretty okay, but it was way over my head. Like the villain was way over my head and it's kind of the thing of saving the world or universe a million times over. Like putting the world at stake, I personally say is a constantly reused thing. When it comes to compelling villains and antagonists, they have to have personal connections to the character. If they are just out there like big bad evil guy who don't care that about you or have no connection to you at all, doesn't make sense if you know what I mean. Like it doesn't make sense. But there was a good antagonist, and how my dungeon master written that antagonist that was connected to my character's backstory literally set off the entire table and wanted that witch dead. Not knocked out. No, no bartering for life. They wanted her dead. So dead because of how well the antagonist was written. What I'm trying to get at is I say antagonists are more important than a villain. And a good villain needs to be a good antagonist in my eyes. And thus, why do you think there's a lot of villains that you don't remember after you play the game once? But then there's that one villain that chills you to the bone whenever you just think of his or her name, you know? Or its name. It just it's just crazy in that regard, you know? Anyway, I think I went on a massive tangent, but yeah. Let's move on to the next one and oh, sorry, I'm messing up. Here we are. Next one is characters, side of you or otherwise you can relate to and why. Well, one is Takaru from Chaos Child. I literally am the textbook definition of what he is if you play the game. But I don't know how to say it. But I believed in his philosophy to a degree, but I was not as gun ho about his philosophy either. You know, that you will learn through playing out the game. Man, this is this. Yeah, I'll say it. When it comes to being how the character itself just reminds me of myself, it reminds me when I'm looking at Takaru, I'm looking through a mirror in a way. And this is why, to this day, is one of the major reasons why I will always promote Chaos Child, period. Is because the perspective of the game that we see through him is quite an eye opener in many regards to how we people live and how we all just think. It's how we all suffer through life in our own regards, each with their own struggle. But yet, we just sit there. Even though we know the people around us are hurting, we're too afraid to reach out our own hand as well. And that's a lot of the lessons that I learned from playing Chaos Child. I needed to learn more humility and reminding myself, yeah, when you got to look at a lot of things. When it comes to understanding yourself, you need to be your biggest critic, but you also got to learn how to love and forgive yourself at the same time. Otherwise, you're just going to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. It's just, there's just so much that I would wish I could say about Takaru, but at the end of the day, I really can't because he is just as important as another character in the exact same game, and you need to understand both of them to order to grasp a true understanding of what this game is about. And the it's, and this and the character, both characters, are the reason why or one of the major reasons why I actually broke down crying not once but twice while playing this game. One was through the best of the best route, and then the other was the conclusion to the entire game. And let me tell you, both taught me massive lessons. But the one that had the reason why both of them had such a big impact, I still can't explain to this day. Because I may talk a lot, I may stutter a lot, and I may ramble a lot, but it's kind of hard to get the feelings out on paper or in an audio or in voice. Like, there's something you wish to say, but you don't know how to articulate it, you know? There's a reason why I relate to Takaru and his struggles. Because at the end of the day, we all have our struggles, you know? Anyway, moving on to other characters that I would relate to that are outside of Chaos Child. Well, I don't relate to this character, but there's a character that I like. And I'm only going to give you his name, Kokichi Oma. Look up him at your own risk. Oh, I'm gonna regret this later. Anyway, moving on to the last question that I have that's been posted. What sort of endings do you prefer? Good, bad, true, and why? Okay. Well, back to the previous statement on that regard. When it comes to endings, it has to be one that actually gets an emotion out of me, of something that I can't, that it just evokes emotion from me. For example, good ends are, yay, I completed the game. Bad end, oh, I reached a bad end. Oh, it was gruesome. Oh my gosh. it evicted kind of emotion. It made me laugh because I got the bad end. Same thing with good ends, like, oh, I completed the game, I did the correct thing. True. Oh, so this is what the intended end is. Okay, but what kind of emotion would I gain from it? And well, again, back to the chaos child argument, I say I prefer true. But when it comes to other forms of media, it literally can be all three at the same time. And when it comes to Steins Gate as well, it could also be all three because each one is important to understand the whole. If there is such thing as if they all have different routes and endings. But yeah, man, why I'm an idiot. I'm the biggest idiot in the world, but I am the rat. Anyway, by the way, let me sit up. Thank you. Thank you guys. I genuinely do mean it for this past year. We may have some funny laughs and we might have had some somber moments, but let's keep moving forward together. All right? And let's keep memeing. Let's keep on memeing because it's what we all love to do, right? Anyway, I got a meme for a select few connoisseurs. Let me just get it ready. So let me there we go. Give me 1 second. You guys are gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna straight up say this. Or rather, hey Hunteru, I'm still willing to do that maid stream. I'll be in this form. You be in the other. See you guys later. Okay.